Welcome to JVM Internals Interview Crashcasts, your go-to podcast for mastering Java virtual machine concepts for senior backend engineer interviews. I'm your host, Sheila, and today we're joined by Victor, an experienced Java developer. Victor, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Sheila. I'm excited to dive into some JVM internals today.
Great. Let's jump right in with a common interview question. Can you explain the difference between JDK, JRE, and JVM?
Certainly. These are three key components in the Java world. JDK stands for Java Development Kit, JRE is the Java Runtime Environment, and JVM is the Java Virtual Machine. They're all related but serve different purposes in the Java ecosystem.
That's a good start, Victor. Can you elaborate on each of these components and how they relate to each other?
Of course, think of it like a set of nested boxes. The largest box is the JDK. It's the full toolkit for Java developers. Inside that, we have the JRE, which is what you need to run Java applications. And inside the JRE, we find the JVM, which is the engine that actually executes Java programs.
I see. So, how would you describe the specific roles of each component?
Great question. The JDK is like a complete workshop for Java developers. It has all the tools you need to build Java applications, including the compiler and debugger. The JRE is more like a pre-built environment where Java applications can run. It has the core libraries and the JVM. Finally, the JVM is the workhorse. It's the part that takes Java code and makes it run on any computer.
That's a helpful explanation. You mentioned the JVM can run Java on any computer. Can you elaborate on how it achieves this?
Absolutely. This is one of Java's superpowers, its write once, run anywhere principle. When developers write Java code, it's turned into something called bytecode. This bytecode is like a universal language that any JVM can understand. So whether you're using a Windows PC, a Mac, or even a smartphone, as long as it has a JVM, it can run that Java program.
Fascinating. Now, let's get into some more advanced territory. Can you tell us about some of the clever tricks the JVM uses to make programs run faster?
Sure thing. One of the JVM's neat tricks is something called the just-in-time compiler, or JIT. It's like a smart translator. At first, it simply interprets the bytecode, but as the program runs, it notices which parts are used a lot. It then translates those frequently used parts into the computer's native language, making them run much faster. Another clever feature is garbage collection. This is like having a tidy-up robot that automatically cleans up memory that's no longer being used, so developers don't have to worry about it.
Those are some complex concepts, Victor. Let's consider a real-world scenario. How might the choice between JDK, JRE, and JVM impact a large company running Java applications across many servers?
That's an excellent question, Sheila. In a big company with lots of servers, these choices can make a big difference. For the developers' computers, you'd want the full JDK. That's your complete toolbox. But on the servers actually running the applications, you might just use a JRE to keep things light and efficient. As for the JVM, in a big system, you might need to adjust its settings differently for different types of servers. For example, servers doing heavy calculations might need different memory settings compared to servers handling lots of quick, small tasks.
Thank you, Victor. That's a comprehensive overview. As we wrap up, what advice would you give to candidates preparing for JVM internals questions in interviews?
I'd say the key is to understand not just what these components are, but how they work together and why they're designed this way. Try to think about real-world examples, like we did with the big company scenario. Don't just memorize facts, try to understand the reasoning behind the design decisions in the Java world.
Excellent advice, Victor. To our listeners, remember that interviewers are often looking for depth of understanding and the ability to apply knowledge to real-world scenarios. Common pitfalls include confusing the roles of each component or not being able to explain their relationships clearly. Practice explaining these concepts out loud and try to relate them to your own experiences with Java development. Thank you for tuning in to JVM Internals Interview Crashcasts. Until next time, Happy coding?